Hi, friends, and greetings on this Holy Saturday. Boy, it's been a difficult Holy Week, hasn't it? Not being able to be together and to do the things that we're used to doing during Holy Week. But we've made it through to today, and for that we can be grateful. Yesterday, Good Friday, we remembered how Jesus was beaten and tortured and hung on the cross for us and for all the disciples. And the story ends at the tomb, and a great stone is rolled in front of the tomb. But is that where the story begins? I don't know. We'll have to think about that one. Because today's kind of that waiting day. Today is the day between, where we pause, we remember what has happened, where we've been. But we, as Easter people, also anticipate what's yet to come, what comes tomorrow. But today is sort of that in-between day. And today we focus on the tomb. So here we are in the year 2020, finding ourselves maybe in a very similar situation as the first disciples, being scattered in seclusion, not really sure what's going to happen next. Maybe we have our own levels of fear for certain things. But we know, as they did not, that there's so much happening in that tomb, in that place of death. And isn't it true in our lives when we are confused or suffering or feeling separated from God that we just don't see anything happening. We want to see something happening. We want God to be involved. And yet he is. He's at work in those times. And he's at work in the places where we can't see. He proves it to us time and time again as we look back into our life and think, oh, that was God at work. I just needed to be patient. And we forget. And the next time we get into a frantic mess or into a struggle situation, we don't remember right away that God is at work and he's there. So today, on this Holy Saturday, God's at work in Jesus, in conquering death and the grave in that tomb. And we know that by tomorrow, the stone will be rolled away. I have in my hand here a stone, and it reminds me of that stone that the builders rejected that has now become the cornerstone. That's from Psalm 118. Because the tomb represents death, and it's being used by God to bring his kingdom into life. And he's using Jesus, this cornerstone, to do it for us. So the stone in my hand is a great way to remember the tomb and how it relates to our lives. Sometimes I'll take a stone and focus my prayer on it. And oftentimes just having that stone in your hand can remind me of the weight of my sin. It can cause me to hold it and offer it to God. And then I can pause and turn my confession into remembering that Jesus is the rock. He's the rock of my salvation and of my forgiveness. And I can also feel on this particular stone the smoothness, that smooth surface where maybe God is working out some of my rough spots. So this stone can be a great mechanism, vehicle, to have something in your hand while you're offering prayer, while you're meditating on what's happening to Jesus, what's happening to our life, what might be happening in that tomb, how death is being brought back to life and what's really going on in there. So I encourage you to find a stone maybe this week and bring it into your prayer life in some way, whatever meaningful way that is for you. I offer you a reading from Romans from the 6th chapter. We know that our old self was crucified with him in order that the body of sin might be brought to nothing, so that we would no longer be enslaved to sin. For one who has died has been set free from sin. Now, if we have died with Christ, we believe that we also live with him. Let us pray. Christ our God, your love is poured out in death for our sakes. Hold us in your embrace as we wait for Easter's dawn. Comfort us with the promise that no power on earth, not even death itself, can separate us from your love. And strengthen us to wait until you are revealed to us in your risen glory. Amen. Have a holy Saturday and Easter blessings.